Hello. So in a previous video, I explained what a manifesto was because you're going to be writing one. A manifesto, oh, that's my text tone, but we're just going to have to live with outside sources. A manifesto is a deliberate manipulation of the public view, which is to say that you believe something that you want other people to believe, either about how the world should be changed, how we are in a crisis, the status quo is a problem, and it should be a dynamic document with bold statements, and it should be complex and compelling. And you're going to have to write one. So I want you to read a couple first. I'm going to show you one that you're going to be reading in full. And it's this one. It's called Young Lords Party 13-Point Program and Platform. This was written in the 60s. And the Young Lords began as a revolutionary political party fighting for the liberation of all oppressed people. And their manifesto is a series of numbered points that detail what they want and what they want the world to become. So I'm going to go over a couple of them. So to begin with, they have these bold statements. We want self-determination for Puerto Ricans, liberation of the island and inside the United States. And then they give a longer explanation of what that means. So for 500 years, first Spain and then the United States have colonized our country. Billions of dollars in profits leave our country for the United States every year. In every way, we are slaves of the gringo. We want liberation and the power in the hands of the people, not Puerto Rican exploiters. So just in this paragraph right here, we get this bold, dynamic statement. We want self-determination for Puerto Ricans. And then you get a further statement of belief. And they are identifying a crisis right here. Billions of dollars in profits are being exploited from Puerto Ricans, and they want liberation. And they go on to continue to do similar things, right? Que viva la raza. We want liberation of all third world people. So they're looking beyond just being Puerto Ricans and having Puerto Rican liberation, but moving beyond that to include Black people, Indians, and Asians, as they're saying right here. No Puerto Rican is free until all people are free. We are revolutionary nationalists and oppose racism. So as you can see, they keep having these bold, compelling statements that they want you to believe the same thing. They are saying that this is true and that you should believe them. And they go on to do that throughout the manifesto. So when you go to write your own, keep in mind this one, the 13-point program of the Young Lords, because it's a good guiding tool of what these dynamic sentences can look like. Land belongs to all people. We oppose the American military. See here, but they get particularly kind of like funky with the KKK and American. So keep in mind things like this when you go to write your own one. The other thing that you're going to be reading is the Introduction to Industrial Society and Its Future, which is by the Unabomber. Admittedly, it is by the Unabomber, which I'm not endorsing, but it's another example of a manifesto that wants something from you and has a vision about the future, which are kind of the two main components of a manifesto. Is it wants its reader to believe something, and it wants to create a new future. It has a future vision, which if we go back over to this PowerPoint, right, how does your manifesto articulate a vision of truth? And when you look at the Young Lords, their vision of truth is oppression, it is liberation, and it is struggle for liberation. This is their vision of truth that they are putting forward. What status quo does your cult want to disrupt? Young Lords is not a cult. I will actively say that. So if we change this to what is the status quo that Young Lords wants to disrupt? It is class oppression, racism, classism that the status quo is enforcing, right? Hopefully this is coming across to you. So what is the world that your cult wants to create? A liberated world for all people. How does it want to create that? You'll get in there. And I will also say that not all manifestos are going to hit each and every one of these points. These are not set in rules. They're like, oh, well, every manifesto I have to analyze it. If it doesn't have something about how does your cult want to create that world, it doesn't make it not a manifesto. It just makes it a different kind of manifesto.